This boy was just in the schoolyard practicing the newly taught boxing technique, but it made a top-tier martial artist watching in secret tremble with excitement, because with every punch he threw, the explosive sound of 9 thunderclaps could be heard. Even the academy's top genius, after hours of grueling training, could barely produce 3 thunderclaps, an entry-level standard. Yet, only half a day had passed since the technique was taught, and he had already mastered it to absolute perfection. It turns out he was chosen by the gods and had awakened the martial arts system. By simply having his avatar guide his training within his mindscape, he can master any martial art to perfection in a very short time. Defeating enemies also grants martial points. Spending these points enhances his vitality and physical aptitude. Now, let's find out how this guy became the martial god. 2 students were in the middle of a sparring match. One punch landed hard, and the student who took the hit complained that it hurt like hell. He laughed it off, noting that Su-hong's Vajra fist had clearly improved again. He wondered aloud if Su-hong had already stepped into the micro level. Su-hong stayed calm and replied that he had only broken through to the micro level 2 days ago. In this world, martial arts were divided into specific ranks: basic, proficient, micro level, mastered, and perfect. Reaching the micro level already put someone far ahead of most of their peers. The other student couldn't help but admire him, saying that when it came to the Vajra fist, no one else in their class could even compare. He then asked if Su-hong was done resting so they could continue practicing. But the pain from that single punch was still stinging, and he actually had no intention of taking another hit. Calling Su-hong a cultivation maniac, he waved him off and said he was heading home to eat. Before leaving the training hall, he politely said goodbye to Teacher Lee. Teacher Lee reminded him to straighten up his clothes before walking out. Then, the teacher turned to Su-hong and stopped him. He asked why Su-hong still hadn't paid the 30,000 registration fee for the martial arts department, reminding him that applications were closing next month. Su-hong hesitated for a moment before asking if he could be given a few more days. Teacher Lee sighed, saying he understood Su-hong's family situation. But rules were rules, and there was nothing he could do to change them. After everyone else had left, Su-hong stayed behind and continued to practice alone. No matter how many times he repeated his forms, one thought kept circling in his mind: the 30,000 registration fee. His memories drifted back to the past. When he was 3 years old, his parents had died during a disaster caused by ferocious beasts. Since then, he had lived with his uncle and aunt. After they discovered his talent for martial arts, they had done everything in their power to support his training. In an era where ferocious beasts roamed freely, becoming a martial artist was the best way to earn good money. He had trained hard to give them a better life, yet right now, it felt like he was only making things harder for them. Later, he returned to a quiet corner of the city, arriving at the cramped, worn-down apartment he called home. Inside, his aunt asked softly whether the rent was almost due and how much money they were still short. His uncle said the rent could wait and that little Hong's registration fee needed to be paid first. His aunt agreed, mentioning that with such talent, Su-hong was sure to succeed one day, and they couldn't afford to hold him back. Then she added casually that she would stop taking her medicine. It wasn't curing her anyway, and stopping would save them money. His uncle immediately objected, telling her he would just take on another job instead. He insisted she stay home, rest properly, and focus on her health, assuring her that everything else would work out. Hearing all of this from the shadows, Su-hong felt a tight ache in his chest, and a wave of sadness washed over him. He couldn't help but feel that this was a stupid, messed up world. It had twisted his life into something he barely recognized. Everywhere he looked, people were greedy. Even if someone simply wanted to register for something they were talented at, they still had to pay money for it. Money he had no talent for earning. If he had actually been good at making money, he probably wouldn't have had talent for martial arts at all. The more he thought about it, the crazier the world seemed. Pushing those dark thoughts aside, he opened the door and called out that he was back. His aunt, who treated him like her own son, immediately fussed over him, asking why he had practiced so late and telling him he must be exhausted. Su-hong tried to take over the chores, telling her he would handle them, but she waved him off. She insisted it was nothing and told him to go rest so he wouldn't be tired the next day. His uncle backed her up, telling him to listen and go to bed quickly. Su-hong returned to his room, but sleep refused to come. He lay there, wide awake, his thoughts running in circles. His uncle and aunt had already sacrificed so much for him. He couldn't keep letting that happen. This time, he would solve his own problem. For a martial artist to earn tens of thousands in just a few days, there was only one place that came to mind. The very next day, a loud announcement echoed through the streets. The crowd was welcomed to the Martial Apprentice Arena Challenge, a place where only victory or defeat mattered, regardless of life or death. It was the underground martial arena. The announcer's voice rose with excitement as she introduced the ring defender for the day, a fighter called Mr. Minotaur. The rules were simple. If he could win 4 matches in a row, he would walk away with $60,000 in prize money. If not, he would get nothing. The crowd was told to watch closely. The audience immediately